Today I'm going to be fitting a split charger to the vehicle. What a split charger is basically a device that can tell if the vehicle's being charged and then opens a circuit so your alternator can charge your leisure battery. It's a straightforward process. Obviously it depends on what vehicle you have and where you lay out the wires, but here on the floor is basically how it works. The yellow wire is because I've got a smart battery isolator unit which I prefer. This will go to a dash, to a switch, go through the switch, on the other end of the switch will go to earth, so it completes the circuit. This will tell the isolator that my vehicle battery is not working and will not start the vehicle. As soon as I switch the switch on, I can then use my leisure battery to actually start the vehicle if my battery is flat on the vehicle, which is very, very useful. The cable is going to run from the battery, two cables, positive and negative. You can actually see outside, so the wires are going to go underneath the van and come up over there, and I just have to seal the wires, and they'll run through there, D-post, and then along the body to the back of the van. The first thing I'm going to do is undo the main connector here for the positive battery terminal and give this a bit of a clean. Also there's the negative battery terminal. I'll undo that, maybe take the battery out, give it a thorough clean, and then I'm going to run a wire to one of these terminals on this side because they're fused that size, and I'm going to run it outside the vehicle and come up through that hole. I'm going to be putting it through a grommet where I've made a hole in the middle, and I'll put plenty of mastic there and seal that, and then I'm going to run it through that channel because that'll be on the floor and it'll come out. It's probably somewhere here, and then run it through a hole and then to the back of the van. So that's the battery tray completely cleaned out. I'll go ahead and install the battery. I've wired in the split charger on the main battery, the vehicle battery. I just need to get a nut for that. The fuse is there. I won't put the fuse in till I'm ready. So that's the main lead in to the isolator, then through the isolator, under the carpet, under the van, and at the moment it comes out there. I'm going to have the isolator here. The reason being is because I can see the dot. When I lift up the carpet, I've got a hole in the lid and I can see if its lights on. The yellow wire also goes under and up through there, and it comes out there. That's going to be a push button which only works when you hold it in. That's going to work when I have a drained battery, driver battery, and I need to start the engine and want to depend on the leisure battery. The other end goes to an earth behind the dash. Simple as that. I've wired in the split charger on the main battery, the vehicle battery. I just need to get a nut for that. The fuse is there. I won't put the fuse in till I'm ready. So that's the main lead in to the isolator, then through the isolator, under the carpet, under the van, and at the moment it comes out there. I'm going to have the isolator here. The reason being is because I can see the dot. When I lift up the carpet, I've got a hole in the lid and I can see if its lights on. The yellow wire also goes under and up through there, and it comes out there. that's going to be a push button which only works when you hold it in. That's going to work when I have a drained battery, driver battery, and I need to start the engine and want to depend on the leisure battery. The other end goes to an earth behind the dash. Simple as that. I've decided to mount the isolator underneath the front panel. This is a battery cover in the cab of the vehicle. I have a Vauxhall Vivaro. It's the same as other models, Renault Traffic. I've put a small hole here so I can actually see when the light's on. All I will have to do is lift up the mat, and if I see that red light on or green light, it will be okay and it will be charging the leisure battery. I've put a riv nut there to hold a bracket. I'm putting a second riv nut in there, and I'm going to mount this with the other bracket on top of the back plate and rivet that all together, and then the two screws here will lock it together. That's the isolator fitted to the panel. You can see when I lift the carpet mat, you'll be able to see if it's working. I need to rivet this once I screw this up. You can see how the brackets are. I'll rivet it, two brackets together, and then through the case. So once I've wired it and put two screws in it, then I will rivet to the panel. Today I'm going to show you how to fit a control panel. It's got an LCD display, shows you the volts coming out of the battery. It's got two USB ports and 4 switches. I'm going to use one of the switches to actually switch the unit on, as I don't want it live all the time. You can buy these actually wired up, but unfortunately this one comes as a separate unit. I like this unit because it's so small and it looks better. Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is attach the white and red wire together with one of these female connectors using a crimping tool. This comes with a wire stripper, 2.5, and these small wires are actually 0.75. It comes on the end with a different size crimping tool. These two wires, the red and white one, I will be attaching to number 1 switch in the middle. You've got the white and red wire attached. You've got the black wire attached, and then another black wire going to each switch, and then I've left a long piece of lead which is going to go to the battery or earth on the vehicle. I've got the roller cable. You can either take that to the battery or you can take it to the vehicle earth, whichever you want to do. So it starts off with the USB socket and then goes to the first button here, which is going to be the power supply to switch on my LCD display. So this first port of call, it goes to that first switch there on earth and then goes to all the rest. I also got the black wire from the LCD display also connected to the first switch. Now I've connected the white wire and the red wire to the first switch, but in the middle block. Now I fitted the positive cable That's going to be from the main battery source, or a fuse box in my case from the van. I connect it to the USB socket, then it goes to the first switch which operates the LCD display, and then to each of the buttons, giving each button power. That's all the cable done now to make this unit live. All I need to do is, I've got 3 buttons I can use now for the lights, and each one will supply the lights from the middle terminal only. That's my main power to the lights, and then obviously I have to earth each light either to the body or take it back to the battery, and then we have the display completely finished. Here we have the control panel now fitted to my leisure battery, just to show you that it works. I've connected an LCD. It does come with it comes with one of these boxes, but unfortunately that has to connect all 6 together, so I'm not using that. However, what I'll be doing is just cutting the wire and feed it directly to my control panel. I fitted an inline fuse to this light with a 2 amp fuse to switch number 1. This is going to operate my panel LCD unit, and this is going to operate one of my lights, the second row of lights and the third row of lights. But as in this application, I've just connected it to this one. I'll just connect the power. It's only a temporary fix, just to give me power. There we go, we got the USB on all the time. Switch 1 will operate the LCD and give me the volt reading, which is currently 12.7 volts. If I operate switch number 1 for the lights, as you see, it turns on the light. You don't have to have this on, you could switch that off and still have the lights on. That's just to give you a readout of the condition of the battery.